Aloha friends, it's Robert Stellick with Blue Planet Surf. In today's video, I'm going to do a little comparison between the two retracting leash systems we have available now. People have been asking what's the difference, which one's better. So I'm going to kind of compare the features and how they work and so on between these two systems. So the retractable leash is this one here with the green reel inside. And then the Zero Drag Leash is this one with the clear color inside. Functionally, they're both very similar. They extend about the same amount of length. With the shock cord, you get like 14, 15 feet of distance between you and the board when it's fully extended. So safety-wise, very similar. Size-wise, the green one, a little bit wider. Thickness-wise, maybe slightly thinner. Weight-wise, they're almost exactly the same. The reel itself is about the same. Let's talk about the differences between the two. So functionally, very similar. They're both great for safety. They're both designed to guide the strap into the reel so it doesn't get twisted and stuck. So that's really important. And it does take a little bit of distance between the hole where it goes in and where it reeled up. So it's hard to make that part smaller, because if you don't have that distance between the lead that flattens the strap into the coil, it can get stuck. So that's one of the things that both of them have, is this mouth that helps it keep from getting stuck. So let's talk a little bit about the retractable leash first. This one, to mount it, you pull a strap through it. So the mounting is slightly different. So it has these two openings on the side, so the strap goes through the openings, and that's what holds it in place. That also allows a little port in the back, so you can take the screw out, you can remove the screw and oil it. So that's an advantage, that it has an oil port, and it's a little bit easier to access the coil inside. So we actually have videos on how to replace the spring inside. It's like a do-it-yourself instructional on how to replace the reel. Now the way it is lubricated is just the reel against the housing. So, and there's no seal between the reel and the housing. So it's a little bit more susceptible to get dirt or sand stuck inside. And if you don't keep it clean properly, the reel can get stuck and you have to take it apart, basically clean it out for it to operate smoothly. So that's one difference, I would say, is that this one has a seal, has like O-rings that seal the housing for the spring inside, and that it kind of keeps debris and dirt out of the spring housing a little bit better on this design. To mount this one, it has this loop on the back that you can loop over the belt. So you can easily loop a belt through this. There's also other mounting options. So you can actually use the center bolt to mount it directly onto a strap. You can just like burn a little hole through a strap and mount it directly onto a strap, or also you can use the screws to mount it onto a harness. The mounting options on this one are a little bit better, I would say, or it's a little bit easier to mount using the bolts, because the bolt goes right through the center of the leash and can mount it onto pretty much any harness or whatnot that you want to mount it on. I would say an advantage of this one, it's a little bit easier to access the spring and work on the spring if you need to. This one is kind of more self-contained and a little bit less likely to get debris inside, but not as easy to work on. So usually we recommend this one if something happens with the spring. You can send it in and we can replace it. Let's talk about the belt that it comes with. The green retracting leash has a padded belt option and with an adjustable strap. So works quite well. It's a little bit more streamlined design, I would say, a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter weight, not as heavy duty, but it doesn't have as much padding. So the belt ends before the buckle starts. If you're planning to use it with a harness, I would say a little bit more padding is nice to have. So for the Zero Drag Leash, we designed the belt to have a longer padding, so that allows the buckle to be on top of the pad, and then It's a little bit thicker strap and more padded belt. So for using it with a harness, it's just more comfortable. There's less pressure points and so on. But it's also a little bit heavier. So if you're just using it as a leash without the harness, and you're not using it as a wing belt as well as for your wing harness, this is a little bit lighter, a little bit more lightweight and not as bulky as this one. So maybe you're wondering why we developed two different leash systems. So that's a good question too. This one is kind of based on the original Oceanus design. When the Oceanus owners retired and no longer made this leash, we got some engineers and worked on this one, tried to make some improvements to the original design and just kind of update it. It took a very long time to get that going. And then in the meantime, I also worked with Jeff from eFoil Solutions, who came up with this design and made some updates to it. And he's an engineer, did a great job designing this one. And he was able actually to get this one in production sooner than we were able to get this one. But we were working on both in parallel. So now we have two separate options. They're both excellent for wing foiling especially, but any foil sports, just a great way to keep the board away from you for safety and keep the foil from getting too close to you. So better safe than sorry. I highly recommend these leashes for safety. And of course also you have higher performance because it keeps the leash from bouncing around on the water, less drag. So the Zero Drag Leash and the retractable leash with the green reel inside, both excellent choices. The green retractable leash, right now we have two options. So we have two different springs. One is the regular tension, which is a little bit stronger. It's the 0.25 spring inside. It has more tension to it. If you want less tension, we also have a 0.2 spring, which has a little bit less tension on the spring. I really like the stronger tension, but for some people that maybe if you're using a really light kite board or you're worried about the board getting pulled back too quickly, you can go with a lighter tension version. This one is right now only available with one tension, which is the stronger tension spring. I just personally really like the stronger tension, and I also feel that it's a thicker, stronger spring material, so it's just going to last longer and keep its tension for a longer period of time. All right, I hope this video is helpful to decide which one is the better system for you. I'm going to head out there now. See you on the water. Aloha.